Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. This is the Ramsey Show. We help people build wealth, do work that they really love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey personality, and my daughter is my co-host today as we answer your questions about building wealth, doing work you love, and amazing actual relationships. So, Rachel, I'm going to do something I don't usually do. I'm going straight to the mailbag. We don't usually pull up emails on the show anymore.
2007?
But
what is happening?
I read this. Occasionally I'll pull off something that we get into customer care, hate mail or trolls or actual just funny stuff or really inspiring things that customers do.
And you used to read it.
And I read it to the staff meeting. Our
you haven't done that in a while, I feel like.
I read this one Monday morning.
Do it. Oh.
Whatever day it was the other day. And so James, our producer, says you got to read this to the audience. Okay, so Dave, thanks for your practical and entertaining advice you and the team put on the Ramsey Show. We're debt-free, including our house, worth over $2 million. We presented our final mortgage check to Chase Bank in Hollywood, California. The journey to the bank included driving past a man dressed as Marilyn Monroe riding a bicycle, a 70-year-old woman wearing tight animal print driving a hot pink Corvette. Once at the bank, the person ahead of us in line was covered in tattoos on her face. When we handed the teller the check, they congratulated us, and then my husband turned to me and said, "We're the weirdest people in Hollywood." Which is a high bar, is the point. Huge thanks to you and the entire Ramsey team for your guidance and inspiration. We couldn't have done it without you. Way to go, guys. That's a lot of fun.
That's funny.
It's a lot of fun. We're the weirdest people in Hollywood. You're so weird. We say that all the time, but really not exactly in that context. But that's just straight up funny.
That's great.
Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Matt's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hey, Matt, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much, Dave and Rachel, for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Sure. What's up?
I feel really kind of bad asking this because so many people are having a rough go of it and suffering and everything, and yet my question seems so,
Your success does not cause their problems.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Anyway, what I would like to know is if I can get a objective answer to the question of whether I can afford or should purchase or get into a golf club membership.
Absolutely, you should. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, this is a perfect opportunity.
That's like asking me if you should buy a boat. Come on. Really?
I thought I'd have a better chance of it if I said gun club, but anyway.
Any of these are good with me. I'm good with all of them. So, all kidding aside, obviously it's not a moral question. It's just a ratios thing. If it is a small enough percentage of your life that it doesn't matter mathematically, then obviously you should do it. If you're going to spend your kid's college tuition to join a golf club, no, be a man. Don't do that.
No, it's not that. The golf club membership, in the initiation fee plus, getting the card itself would run $30,000, mm-hmm. and then the monthly dues after that is roughly $550-$600 a month.
It's pretty reasonable for most golf clubs. Hopefully, it's a decent track, right?
Yeah, it's a real nice course.
Okay, what do you make a year?
Community with it.
What do you make a year?
Household income is around $165,000.
Okay, and what's your net worth?
Including property and all of that good stuff, in the neighborhood of $1.5 million.
Okay, and you're debt free.
Debt free, no mortgage, no credit card, no nothing except monthly bills.
Matt, I think you've just joined the country club.
Yeah.
I think you're fine.
Yeah.
I think you're fine.
I
appreciate
your only
the
problem is you're
though.
still a tightwad. That's your only problem.
See that? Yeah, it kind of, it kind of hurt a little bit, because that's a lot of money for initial outlay. And there was a time, 6 months ago, I canceled an MP3 purchase because they had risen the price from 99 cents to $1.29. So, I just...
that's horrible. I can't believe that they would do that to a man like you. But,
And Matt, I'm assuming, too, you're going to use the membership, correct? Like, you enjoy golfing, you're going to be using it. It's not like, I'm just going to do it. It's going to just sit there. And it's a waste. You're going to be using it.
Yeah, I'm not going to just say, hey, look what I got. No, absolutely. I'm going to be hacking away.
So, Matt, y'all are like throwing out golf terms that I have no idea what you mean. So I'm assuming that's a golf hacking.
It just means he's going to dig holes in the golf course.
Oh, okay, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what I would encourage, Matt, is that, we talk about here on the show so often that you live like no one else. And that's what you hear a lot on the show is the sacrifice that people are taking currently to get out of debt, to build up an emergency fund, to get to a point where their head's above water, but then to later to live and give like no one else. And so you're just at that other end of the equation. And a lot of people struggle in that latter part of the equation because they're like, oh gosh, like, if spending money feels weird or I feel wasteful, is this okay? They ask all the same questions you ask. And so,
so what I'm always looking for to make it a wise decision and also to make it emotionally palatable is ratios. Okay? How big a percentage of your world is this? And $30,000 is a percentage of 1.5 or as a percentage of $165,000 income with somebody completely debt-free. It's like buying a biscuit, dude. I mean, it's not going to affect your life. If you take $30,000 and put it in the middle of the floor and burn it, your life is not going to change.
No.
Okay, that's my point. And so that means you can afford this, and because you don't even notice. It doesn't affect your giving. It doesn't affect your investing. It affects your enjoyment of life. And there's three things you can do with money. You can enjoy it, you can give it, and you can invest it. And you should always be doing all three. But look at the ratios. And the ratios set you free. Because I used to be that guy. I was that guy who said, no one needs to drive a car that expensive. Because I'm like managing other people's lives or something. And that's just a bunch of crap. That's just poor mouthing is what we call it. I mean, that's just, you grow up in a neighborhood where you run down rich people, and it's like, no one should ever drive a car. Who needs a car that expensive? Well, I can tell you who doesn't need it. Somebody can't pay for it, and they notice when they buy it. But I got a friend that made $15 million last year, and he drove up in front of my house in a $300,000 Lamborghini. So, but you know what? That's a smaller percentage he spent on his car of his income than you spent on your car, all of you listening. So shut up. It's none ya business what he drives. And it's not affecting him. It's $300,000 is a percentage of 15 million. So if you make 150,000, that'd be like buying a $3,000 car. Okay?
Percentages.
It's the same exact ratios. So no one should buy. Shut up. You got a full-time job managing your life. Jeez. This great job, Matt. Touchdown. I'm proud of you. Go get the dadgum golf membership. You're awesome. This is the Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Kate's in Ontario. Hi, Kate. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Rachel. Thank you so much for taking my call. Dave, I actually talked to you and George back in December. My grandmother passed away and is leaving me about 150,000 Canadian dollars. The probate period's ending. I'm probably going to receive the money at the end of the month, and I'm having a disagreement with my parents about what I would like to do with the money versus what they would like me to do with the money. I'd really like to honor both my grandparents and my parents.
How old are you?
And I'm just hoping for your advice.
How old are you?
Oh, I'm 30.
Why do your parents get a vote in this?
Well, they gave me $60,000, my husband $50,000, very generously when we bought our starter home.
Did they give it to you, or did they loan it to you and say they get to tell you how to run your life after that?
No, sir. They gave it to us as a very generous gift.
That's sweet. That's sweet until they use that as the guilt trip ticket.
So you should continue to fully fund our emergency fund, which is about halfway there, and then put the rest towards our mortgage, which would pay about 80% of it down.
There's two different things going on here, okay? You're asking me what to do with it, and you're discussing your parents wanting to tell you what to do with it. Those are two different subjects, okay?
Okay.
All right, Rachel?
So, well, I'm curious, what do your parents want you to do? Because I just heard what you want to do. What do they want you to do?
My parents want me to put it in retirement accounts, basically the Canadian equivalent of Roth and IRA, as well as do some home repairs.
So what is it for you, Kate, though, that kind of back to Dave's question of that need to really feel the weight of what they're saying? Are they making you feel so guilty? Like, why don't you just go and do what you want to do?
They're not making me feel guilty. They're really wonderful people who have done a lot on their own, and they have really won with money and been great examples to me that I feel I should.
But what you're suggesting really you want to do with money is not dumb.
Well, I didn't think so.
Well, no, it's not. I mean, it's exactly what we teach, so obviously we think it's not dumb. But also, I mean, you didn't suggest you go, that somehow you blow the money or you're irresponsible with money. Okay, let me run a parallel for you, okay? This is how my mind works, and I can't help it. But, Rachel's little brother, Daniel, is 31, right?
I don't know how old my brother is, but it sounds about right.
Yeah. And so if he and his wife, Allison, got $150,000, I am very loud, I am very opinionated, and when it comes to this particular subject, I'm very right, okay? But still, the chances of me, and Rachel will back me up on this, the chances of me calling Daniel and Allison up out of the blue and saying, here's what you should do with money that you got from Allison's parents or got from whatever other source is zero. Now, if they ask, I'll tell them what I think they should do. But I'm not going to withhold love if they don't do it. I'm not going to roll my eyes if they don't do it. They're like grown people and stuff. You see? That's yes, how we would function, Rachel, right?
100%. Yes, for sure. But Kate, for you, do you feel like you're going to get the roll of the eye, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that, Kate, that feeling from your parents? Or do you think they're going to say, oh, we just think that this was a better idea, but you go do? Like, is there that sticking point?
I think they might be disappointed that I maybe didn't take their advice and I took Dave Ramsey's advice instead. But I don't think it would be a Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, here's the thing.
So for you, though, you're just struggling between, are they right or is this right? Sorry, go. What?
Exactly. And I want to, if I go ahead and make like the Dave Ramsey stream decision, I want to do it in a way and explain it to them in a way that, says, This is what I would like to do, and I'd like to honor you and honor my grandparents in this.
Absolutely. So go. He's like dying over here.
I appreciate you wanting them to be happy with your decision, but your need for their approval just needs to stop.
Okay.
The boundaries are just, they're walking all in your yard with muddy boots. They need to get back in their yard. They came across the fence. They just came across the fence. And, you don't have to be mean about it, and I'm not suggesting you be caustic. And this isn't really about their advice or Dave Ramsey's advice. This is about, like, you being a grown-up and stuff. and you get to make your decisions. And you decided you gathered up information from several different sources, and then you made the decision of what you wanted to do with your money. It's not like, I picked Dave Ramsey over I picked my parents. No, you're not doing that. That's not what's going on here. What's really going on here is you gathered information from several different places. You think that this particular method is the best, okay? Rachel gathered several pieces of information from different places and bought a freaking Tesla. How in the world? But she did. And we're making, we make fun of her all the time, but, and we joke about it. But the point is, even as, we joke about it.
And as much
the
as
chances
he
of me, she did not follow her parental guidance when she purchased a car that it runs on a battery. That her father would never do that.
Not going to a gas station.
But all we have done is celebrate her, that she loves the car and joke about it. That's all we've done.
Yes.
There's been no me walking over in your boundary saying, you shouldn't do that. That's a dumb idea. Stop being stupid. I never did any of that.
No. But Kate, I would say when you explain it to your parents, because you're like, they're probably going to be disappointed. So yes, the boundaries is a whole issue.
They shouldn't be disappointed.
I know,
I'm not disappointed that you bought a Tesla. I make fun of you, but I'm not disappointed.
No, but Kate, I think too, to explain it to them though, that your quickest way to honor them, honor your grandparents, all the language you're using, and to help you and your family win, you and your husband win with money, the fastest way to get from point A to point B of what you see is to have what's wise is an emergency fund in the bank, or having an emergency fund in the bank, paying off any debt that you have, being able to take some of that and pay off your mortgage, so that way you guys don't have a mortgage payment, so that you can invest in all that. Because their advice is not necessarily, it's not the order we would do it, but investing that money, it's not like they're giving you bad advice. You can invest that money and be totally great, Kate. But the steps before that and explaining to them like, hey, here's how I'm seeing it, to be wise to get to that point, and then I will be able to invest and have the margin to invest a lot.
I think John Deloney would disagree with you.
Really? To explain it to them?
No, I think he would just say, listen, I appreciate your input. You don't get a vote.
Okay, but if Kate's not, I'm thinking if I'm in her shoes though, and I feel like oh gosh, and again, this isn't you guys, but I'm like, if I had parents saying that to me, she's at the point though that she's taking their opinion with such weight. For her to just eliminate that doesn't happen overnight. So for her to make this decision, though, in the next week...
You just smile at them and say, honey, you don't get a vote. Now, you can be a little nicer than that. Well, you can be nicer about than that. Honey, hey, you didn't tell your mother and I the name of your children before they were born because you were afraid your mother would roll her eyes, okay?
She said,
because we don't get a vote. It's your freaking kid. You get to name the kid. We hope you don't name him Moonbeam, but you get to name the kid.
My mom goes, oh, God, please don't name him anything weird. I was like, exactly. I'm not telling you the baby name.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. And all you said was, in a nice way, you don't get a vote. My kid in my body, I name it. And that's healthy boundaries.
I know, but what do you say to Kate, who doesn't? She
needs to put up healthy boundaries.
She does, but I think having a conversation and explaining why she's making this decision is not wrong.
It's not. They don't get a vote.
They don't get a vote because
they don't need to be persuaded.
Oh my gosh. No, she's making her decision to do the emergency fund and pay off the mortgage. But I think it's totally fine relationally to go into her parents and say, hey, here's why I've chosen to do it. You don't get a vote, but here's why, and explain the why. That's not wrong.
If you want to, it's okay, but
dial up Deloney.
You didn't explain to me why you named your kid that, and you didn't explain to me why you bought a Tesla, and I still love you.
Because I don't want to get gas anymore.
I know, but I didn't. You didn't owe me an explanation.
No, I don't. But if I was worried about it, I probably would give you an explanation. But I'm not worried about it.
Because you don't care. See, there it is. It's healthy boundaries. That's it. You got it. Isn't this wonderful? I love it.
Know.
Kate, bottom line is, do what you want to do with your money. I would recommend what we always recommend. We hope you do that, and we love you anyway. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Ken and Laura are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. Better than we deserve. Where do y'all live?
Knoxville.
Knoxville. What part of Knoxville?
We actually live in Powell, just north Knoxville.
Yeah,
All
very
right, where it
nice.
is. Well, Rachel's husband's from Knoxville. I was born in Merville, so we're all from over that direction. So welcome to Nashville. Good to have you. How much debt have you paid?
$23,000.
Good.
Awesome.
Very good for you. And how long did that take?
A year.
1 year. And your range of income during that time?
Started out at $76,000 and then was up to $81,000.
Cool. What kind of debt was the 23?
My car.
Your car.
Ah.
That's
Our
simple.
car.
That's simple. The one that you drive, that's our car.
Yes.
All right. So how long y'all been married?
15 years next month.
Okay. So what was the thing that happened a year ago that just, you said, okay.
So it started really about 5 years ago. My work had a lunch and learn about being financially fit. And I never considered financial fitness, just always physical. So I went to it and I was kind of intrigued, and that kind of started the snowball from there. So over the next course of a couple of years, we kind of talked about like we weren't going to be able to retire. I hadn't put anything in retirement in probably 10 to 12 years. He was only putting in 5%, and just like that we needed to get our act together. So I had been praying. I was just nervous and scared, and COVID came along, and then I providentially found your radio show, started listening, and it took me a while to get on board because we used our credit cards and got our cash back and all that kind of stuff. And so then Rachel's book, Know Yourself, Know Your Money, was coming out, and the wallet. And so I had never used a debit card. I don't even think I had one. And so that was my first debit card purchase. And then from that moment, I was like, I can't put credit cards in that wallet. I just can't.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad that like the motivation
It's got
of
this
doing
little
it.
thing down inside of it. It distinguishes whether it's debit or credit, and it destroys it as soon as you put it in there. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so you got...
So now then you come back to Ken and you go, okay, I'm about to get us weird. And what'd Ken say?
Well, she was all gung ho, and
Yeah,
I
I
was
could
like,
tell.
this is a little.
This is kind of weird.
Fast.
This is over the top.
Yeah.
And just kind of he was like, you have to have credit cards. Everybody has credit cards. We can't live without them.
A little while before, we got turned down at a car company because we didn't have a credit card with us right around this time. So we had to go home, get a credit card to put the deposit down to get the car. So I'm like, you kind of need a credit card for emergencies, but
and all,
you know.
And now you're surviving without them.
Yeah.
Look at I don't know if Ken's too excited about this. That's so funny. Okay, so but the only debt you guys had
was this car.
Was the car.
That he used a credit card to do the down payment on, yeah.
We had always, we had kind of got into debt, got out. Like we bought his truck, paid it off early, went into student loan debt, paid it off within like a year or two, and we just kept doing that. And I knew really like inside, like that's not how I want to live. That's not where I want to be, but we would keep going back to it. So
I feel like you work for the bank.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had been listening when I would pick my girls up every day from school. I would listen from 2 to 4, and we would hear the debt-free screams. And so I heard one that was almost exactly the same amount that we owed, same amount of money. And I was just thinking, there's no excuse that we can't do this.
That's amazing. Amazing. And then you guys did it. I mean, you said, okay, we're going to do this. So I'm curious, Ken, what would you say to the wife listening right now who wants her husband on board, but he won't get on board? What was it that helped you decide, okay, we can do this, and I'm gonna jump in, and we're gonna do this weird plan of paying off the car?
Well, it's really, Laura has really good intuition, and this is more her area than mine.
I'm the nerd.
Yeah. So I guess it's really just, do you really trust your wife? I mean, I do. Mm-hmm. I mean, up until my job now, I never even knew what my paycheck was. I mean, I never even looked at it.
Yeah.
And so, I just fully trust her in everything, and she thought this was a really good idea. And so, even though it was kind of against my raising, am on board.
Everybody's raised.
Yeah.
It's against everybody's, because everybody's raised to stay in debt.
Yeah.
Get in debt, stay in debt your whole life. That's how we were all taught. Yeah, that's cool. Good.
So how does it feel now?
It feels good.
Great. I feel like it was just so empowering, like we can do anything. If something happened and our income decreased or one of us lost a job, like we're going to be able to manage it.
Yeah.
We'll be okay.
Anybody cheering you on from the sidelines?
Our girls.
Yeah, mainly our daughters.
Yeah, they were really big. We would go to the store. One of them would have the grocery list, and the other one would have a calculator. And they'd be like, "Mom, we're getting close to the amount. Like, we can't put that in. That's not on the list."
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's a great exercise for those young ladies. To learn to say no, to budget with it, or to live within an amount, and make decisions. Because you got to, okay, if I want to put that in the buggy, I can't put these two things in the buggy. You got to decide, and you have to do that your whole life. Really, all of us do.
Yep.
So not just the grocery store, but everywhere. And that's the thing. So way to go, you guys. Way to go. I'm very proud of you. How's it feel to be free?
Wonderful.
Feels good.
I wish we had found it and started it sooner.
Will you go back in debt?
Nope.
Done. All right. Good for y'all. Very cool. Well, let's bring the girls up to give us their names and ages, please.
We've got Lexi and Abby, and they're both 10. They're twins.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, so fun.
Okay.
So
Rachel's mom's a twin, so there you go. Good stuff. Fun stuff. Well, we've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you, How Ordinary People Built Extraordinary Wealth, how you can too. That's the next chapter in your story. You guys go on and be millionaires now. You're on your way. You make $80,000 a year. You don't have any payments. You can do it. It's very, very, very possible. 1/3 of the millionaires that we studied never made six figures. So it's very possible. Good stuff. Also got a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, that almost 10 million folks have followed to do the stuff that you're doing, the baby steps, the whole thing. You can give that away to somebody, help them get started. And we've got a copy of the Financial Peace University, 1-year subscription to FPU and Every Dollar through the Ramsey Plus subscription. And we'll give you that as well. You can go through the class if you want. If you have already been through it, give it to somebody else. We want you to pay it all forward and give you some stuff to help some other folks. So way to go, you guys. We're very proud of y'all. You're awesome. You're heroes.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Good excuse to come over to Nashville and hang out.
Yes.
I like it. Good stuff. All right, it's Ken and Laura and Abby and Lexi from Knoxville. $23,000 paid off in 1 year, making 76 to 81. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free.
Yeah! Fabulous. Very well done, you guys. Very well done. Nick is in Omaha, Nebraska. Hi, Nick. How can we help?
I got a couple questions about student loans. Thanks for taking my call first.
Sure.
So I attended Corinthian College, and there was a thing signed earlier this month about canceling debt.
Yep. Your debt will be
colleges.
forgiven if you have a federal student loan.
So I have 2 federal student loans, technically.
With both from Corinthian.
Yes, one's a Parent Plus loan, which I promised to pay, and one's underneath my name.
They're both gone. They're both gone.
So technically I'm on baby step 3 right now?
Well, you got to go through the process. I mean, you're going to have to get with the government and work through it. But the standard, okay, Biden came out and said, I forgave $5 billion worth of student loan debt. Bullcrap, he did not. The standard procedure with the Department of Education is if a private college like Corinthian College goes broke, the federal government has always canceled all of the student loans associated with that college. They've always done that. That's a standard thing. Biden didn't do that. It was going to happen whether Biden was in office or Trump was in office or whoever was in office. It's the way the program works. And so he wants to take political credit for it, but he didn't do squat. So But the debt is forgiven. The stupid college went broke. They ripped you off, and you get your debt completely forgiven. Now, you're going to have to go through that process. So, yeah, mathematically, you're not paying any more on these debts, and you're going to walk out of this completely. But you're going to go through the paperwork, and you're going to have to deal with the Department of Education and fill out the forms and do all the stuff so that it goes away, because it doesn't just poof disappear.
How does he do it? Do you know?
It's a process. I mean, it's like a series of pieces of paper you fill out, a series of forms you fill out. Just like if you become disabled, your federal student loans are forgiven. But you have to go prove the disability. You have to fill out the paperwork. They don't just automatically call you up and go, "Hey, I heard you're disabled. We're forgiving it." No, you got to go. You got to go make the thing happen.
Yep.
This is the Ramsey Show. Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. There's so much crazy going on, and people are looking for direction on how to handle their finances day to day, but they're also struggling to see if it's even possible to build wealth out there right now. At our Building Wealth live event, we're going to talk to you through all the crazy, through all recession talk, high gas prices, high interest rates. How are you going to become wealthy? It's not by going stupid, I can tell you that, and getting in some kind of get-rich-quick garbage. We're going to show you how to really build wealth in good times and in bad times, and we do that at these Building Wealth live events. We just finished up a couple of them. They were sold out in Vegas, sold out in Orlando. The Phoenix event is September the 13th, Sacramento, November the 1st, Minneapolis is November the 10th, and San Antonio is November the 15th. They are all 80% sold. So if you want to come, you're not going to be able to wait until the fall to buy your tickets right before the event. They're going to be gone. So we want you to get your tickets now so that you can actually pull this off. It's going to be great. Rachel Cruz will be with me, George Camel, Ken Coleman, Dr. John Deloney. We can't wait to see you guys. We love going out into the public, seeing human beings. We think this is important. Humans need to see humans. It's a good thing. And event passes start as low as $25. You can get a 4-pack as low as $60. So bring your friends. It's going to be amazing. Get 4 of your buddies up. Let's go. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events. Get your seats now. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings with free samples, free shipping, and the new promos they run every month. You'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Kate in Oregon. My husband and I are on baby step 2 and are getting close to baby step 3. He has recently started selling things he owns in order to upgrade to something more expensive. For example, a new bow for hunting. He sold his old bow, but the price of the new one was over $1,000 more than he got from the sale of his old one. He's an avid hunter, and I want to be supportive, but the amount he has spent in the last year on hunting gear alone makes my palms sweaty. He argues that he is within the rules since he is selling something he has already had, but the new purchase is always more than what he gets from the sale. Am I overreacting to this? No, you're not overreacting, Kate. You guys are still in debt. You're getting close to baby step 3, but until you guys are out of baby step 3, you are selling things in order to get the cash from the sale to put towards debt, not to go buy new stuff. So, no, I don't think you're overacting. I think he's wrong in this. He can still hunt with the things he has and still enjoy the hobby, but you don't have to go and purchase new stuff right now where you guys are at. I wouldn't. I would wait till after baby step 3, then he can upgrade some stuff if he wants. But he needs to sell stuff in order to put that money towards debt or towards the emergency fund, not to buy something new.
That's the exact correct tactical answer on what he should be doing. The problem with this is not what he should be doing. The problem with this is why. He's acting like a little boy and you're acting like his mommy. He needs to man up and decide that that the two of you as a couple, like two freaking adults, are trying to accomplish a goal together. And then he doesn't have to run whining for permission to buy a bow to go hunting. He needs to be participating in the vision of the household. And once he decides that the two of you are trying to accomplish a goal that's worth it, then it turns around the other way and we start selling guns and hunting gear. And I'm a gun guy and I have way too many of them. My wife is a purse woman and she has way too many of them. But none of those things are getting in the way of our future vision that we have for the Ramsey household as a couple. Because that's more important than a bunch of crap. Purses and guns and bows and stuff that we all collect. Okay? So, no, it's not about how can I still be saying and keep the rules.
No,
I want to keep. I'm not breaking the rules. No, you're not participating in the grown-up discussion. Is the problem? You need to get your butt in gear.
I know, but what
and
is
participate in the grown-up discussion.
Yes, but he's not the one asking the question.
I know, but
Kate
that's
is.
the point. I mean, so the point is, Kate, it's not. Can we blow a whistle with a striped shirt and throw a flag? He's out of bounds. He's out of bounds in not the bow that he purchased. He's out of bounds in the fact that he even wanted to purchase the bow because he's completely not plugged into the bigger picture, the future, the vision for this house and this couple. That's where he's out of bounds. So that's where I'm throwing the flag. And that means that, no, you don't upgrade your hunting equipment when you're in debt. Good God. No. And I'm all for you getting your stuff, guys. I want you to go do stuff. I go do guy stuff all the time. I believe in it. I think that's a big deal. And if you want to go hunting, that's great. Go hunting, but you got a bow. And it wasn't the lack of a bow that caused you to miss that last deer. It was the fact you didn't crawl up on it right. That was the problem. It was you. It's not the arrow. It's the guy shooting it. So there we go. All right.
Man, he just, I think insulted your husband.
No, I mean, this is, this. Here.
I know, I hear you, and I agree. I totally agree. Okay, but listen, there are people, there are millions of people right now, and I bet half of them are thinking that I have a spouse like that, though. I have my wife won't do it.
So the point is you have to talk about not, the discussion is not about the bow.
Yes.
The discussion is about the vision. And the lack of it.
But if he will not...
Then that's a marriage issue that's really deep. Because you are married to a little boy and not a man. You're married to a little princess and not a woman. Because you step in beside your spouse, you put your shoulder in the wheel, and you lift to go do the things that matter for your house. And instead of just like, how little can I get away with so she won't nag me? Oh, my God. What are you, in a sitcom? I mean... Go have no. This lack of vision from either spouse, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you're right. My point is, it's not a hunting gear problem. It's a vision problem. And if you can't solve that, then you really, at the core of it, you have a marriage problem. Because I will never tell you in any circumstance to babysit your spouse. If you're married to a woman like that, you just have to enjoy making money. No, you have to quit being a wuss and deal with the problems of her behavior. And you all look at each other and go, this is not causing us to win. And, she's just that way. You're just a wuss. Deal with the stuff, And it's not being mad at you, but you cannot dance around it. It's like, how can I manage our household in such a way to prepare for divorce? You can't. You get divorced, it's a freaking financial nightmare. I mean, marriage is grand, divorce is $50,000. You can't half-butt do this stuff because this personal finance is more personal than it is finance.
Yes, all intertwined. And for couples, though, it's a lot of people, they don't even have that discussion of what's the vision of our household. Where do we want to be? Like, that's not a that's not a normal discussion for
No,
a lot
it's
of
not.
people.
No,
So,
it's not.
but the encouraging thing is to sit down and push into the awkwardness. Like, right? Like if you've never had that discussion, it's going to be awkward. It's going to be fun. Like you're not going to know exactly what you're doing, but start the conversation, start talking about it, because to your point, it's not just the money issue. Your marriage changes when you guys get on the same page. And so there's something about changing the marriage, and the outflow of that changed marriage comes situations like a money situation that you guys then work on together. But a lot of people that even sitting down and having that discussion, that doesn't those discussions don't happen in some households. So
but you cannot fix the hunting bow discussion with a hunting bow answer, because the hunting bow discussion is not the problem, it's the symptom.
Yep.
The problem is we're not both being grown-ups aimed at a big, noble goal that's big enough to cause me to put my items, my selfish thing that I want to the side for a few moments so that we accomplish some bigger goals.
In my marriage, and that's selflessness. That's
and that's how
the heart of marriage.
That's how marriages get healed all the time in Financial Peace University. I mean, I've had people tell me for years, we've been to 6 marriage counselors, and then we went through FPU, and it saved our marriage, because we force you to have a vision for the future together. We're going to be up in your grill. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they really love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author. My daughter is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Andrew starts us off this hour in Tampa. Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Good. How are you? Pleasure speaking with you.
You too, sir. How can we help?
Hey, so my question is, how do you split ownership on a home financially, 50-50, if one person makes pretty much substantially more than the other?
Are you married?
Going to be in a year, so that's kind of why I'm I'm asking, because we're definitely going to be looking.
If you're married, you don't
split
house. The ownership. Both of you own it joint and severally. You own 100%.
Understood.
She owns 100%.
Understood, but I meant more financially. So let's just say the mortgage payment.
Oh, the mortgage. Okay. All right. So how do we budget? Who pays what of the mortgage after we're married? Is that your question?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, so Andrew, the way we look at that is that once the income hits the bank account, that it's both your money. I mean, like both of you have the same amount of money. It doesn't matter who makes what. You guys are in a marriage, and so you are a team, you are one, and we are all about combining your finances. And so that means if, your wife stays at home and you work and your paycheck hits the bank account, it's as much hers as it is yours. And vice versa. So it's not a matter of who brings it in. It's just the fact that you guys are one and working as a team. So yeah, there's not really a splitting the mortgage. It's we're going to pay it together. It's
kind of the old time marriage vows from the Book of Common Prayer. Okay, for rich or for poor, in sickness and in health. And here's a phrase they don't ever use anymore, but it's in the old marriage vows. Unto thee all my worldly goods I pledge. Used to be part of the marriage vows. In sickness and in health, rich or for poor, unto thee all my worldly goods I pledge. And so, the preacher says, and now you are one. Not, and now you are a joint venture. Let's figure out how to split this up. And so we're going to just take all the money and put it in a pile. And now that pile of money is our money. And we want to accomplish our dreams, our goals, address our fears, with that pile of money, and how do we go about that? One thing we're going to do is obviously pay the mortgage payment because we'd like to live in this house. Another thing is we're going to pay the light bill because we'd like to have electricity. We. You change your pronouns when you're married. You become French. We.
Okay, perfect. And then do you believe in separate checking and then a standard account to where both of you are on it?
Nope.
At all?
One account. Don't
Just
need
one
to.
account outright. Okay.
You don't need to because you're both sharing everything. There's no secrets. We're married. We love each other. We have each other's best interest at heart. We want to cause the other person to win. I want to serve my wife. She wants to serve me. We want to accomplish the things we agree together that we want to accomplish. And we're going to do a written plan, a budget every month that we both have a vote on. She gets her needs and desires addressed in that discussion. I get my needs and desires addressed in that discussion. They're both on that piece of paper. And so then the money from the checking account goes towards what we have previously agreed on paper, called a budget, and so there's no surprises.
Which, Andrew,
Gotcha.
I hear you, though, that I know that this is kind of weird advice, because now the normal way of going about money in marriage is that, yeah, she has her checking account, you have yours, you guys split the bills, and that's what it is. But but this is now...
We've been living together now for probably about 2 years now, engaged, so it's at a point to where it's almost like you would call it roommates in a way.
Yeah,
right?
you are
Half
right
here,
now. You are
half there,
roommates.
half here.
Legally, you are roommates today.
Correct.
Legally, after you're married, you're not anymore.
It's all one. But I mean, it really pushes that discussion, though, Andrew. I would encourage you guys, if that makes you uncomfortable for any reason of like, oh gosh, we're going to share our money, start asking those questions. Why does that make me uncomfortable? Is there, am I still wanting a part of my life that I don't want to give up? I mean, those are good questions, not just for your money, but for your going into your marriage, because this is just a reflection of, hey, we're going to share a bed. We're going to share our genetics, running around with little kids in the future. Like, we're going to share our life together. And that includes our money. But if it makes you, if you're hesitant or she's hesitant on that, I would push into that ASAP.
As a part of some of your pre-marriage counseling. Yeah. So here's some data points that help you with this as well, that say that this is not just an opinion. Okay, I've done this for 30 years, and we've had 10 million people go through Financial Peace University. So it is more than an opinion in that sense. It's anecdotal evidence there, but the actual data says that the number one cause of divorce is money fights and money disagreements. And when we can get you to combine your income and combine your spending decisions, we're forcing you to combine your dreams, to combine your fears, to combine. And if our dreams include her going and getting her master's, that's an our dream. We both want that for her, right? And that's money that's spent directly on her, but it's a part of our dream, okay? If our dreams include you getting a nice car that you've always wanted, then that's one of our dreams, and she's happy about that, okay? So you're combining your dreams. By forcing you to put the money together and forcing you to make decisions together, we're forcing you to combine your value system rather than having a little secret life off to the side or a lot of selfishness off to the other side or something else. So the number one cause of divorce. And the second thing we found, the other piece of data in the largest study of millionaires that's in the Baby Steps Millionaires book, that it was just a number one the other day that I just did, of the millionaires that we studied, it was like 86% attribute their becoming millionaires to the fact that their spouse was on the journey with them. Not they were dragging a reluctant spouse, or not they were over on the side having their own little side hustle and they just worked it out and their spouse was oblivious. No, they were on the journey with them. There's something about both. There's an old thing called the marriage. What is that called? The marriage. It's a marriage advantage or something like that. There was a study done about 25 years ago. It's probably dated now, but it showed that people that are married and have healthy marriages, they live longer, they make more money, they're better in their careers, and so there was a marriage advantage. That's not the right phrase. There's another word for it. I forget what it's called. But anyway, that's what. So all of that ties, but it all only works when you do this combo thing.
Yep.
This combined. Unified thing. and you create a level of unity in your relationship and in your marriage through the money lens that nothing else will do.
Yes, and this is all really big picture stuff, but too, Andrew, like when you guys sit down and do a budget, you both get a line item in the budget. So like my husband, there's a Winston line item, there's a Rachel line item, so I can still go to Target and shop or buy something online. And I'm not like having to like go to him with every single thing. Like I have money to spend, but it's all coming out of the same place. It's all coming out of the budget we agreed on. It's coming out of the same checking account. So it's not stripping away your individual freedom. You still have the ability to like what you like and spend where you want to spend, but you're doing it together as one.
Yeah, it makes all the difference in the world, dude, on your marriage and on the probability of your building wealth. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. A lot of people would rather spend their weekend doing yard work or have a root canal than talk about insurance. But here's the deal. If you don't take the time to learn about insurance, you're always going to feel ripped off. You know why you're going to feel that way? Because you probably are getting ripped off. You make the wrong choices because you don't know what you're doing. We all have this nagging thing about insurance. Hey, we think learning about money should be simple. Our new free 5-day guide to insurance called Confidence in Your Coverage. It's free. It's a 5-day guide to insurance. Confidence in Your Coverage makes learning about insurance quick, practical, and even funny. Our own George Camel does it. You can be guaranteed you'll have a chuckle in there. And it's really good. It's really good. Every day for 5 days, George will walk you through a new insurance topic. Very quick, very short, very free, unpacking everything you need to know to get the right coverage for you. To top it off, we're doing a giveaway for the folks that sign up at the end of the series. You might still have to do the yard work, but you'll at least know about insurance. Go to RamseySolutions.com/confidence and sign up for the free 5-day guide to insurance. Confidence in Your Coverage. RamseySolutions.com/confidence. Kurt is in Memphis. Hey, Kurt, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Rachel. Thanks for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Well, first, I want to thank you so much for all you've done. Thanks to the Total Money Makeover. My wife and I have been able to overcome some substantial obstacles and eliminate $91,000 of debt from 2018 to 2020.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. We still have our mortgage, but we've experienced a ton of financial freedom after eliminating that debt. After that debt, we started to save up our cash, and we have $35,000 in an emergency fund in a high-yield savings account.
Good for you.
But after that, I got a little reckless, and I started putting our extra money into an individual investment account where I've been picking individual stocks like Alibaba, Chegg, Facebook, Netflix, and a bunch of those are down right now. But I do think they'll pan out long term. We have about $20,000 in that account, and I put another $10,000 just recently into a Series I bond. So my take-home pay is about or our take-home pay is about $6,100 a month guaranteed, and we at least have $1,000 left over each month after putting 15% into our retirement. The problem is both of our vehicles have 165,000 miles on them, and we're considering having a third child, and at some point a minivan is going to be needed. I'm a little bit worried about used car prices, and I want to wait as long as we can. But the money for that van that we have saved up is in individual stocks right now, and the Series I bond, that extra $30,000. I've considered whether we should use our emergency fund for the car and just let that stuff sit. I've got a job that's super stable, about as stable as it can get. I don't know what I should do about that, and whether I should start putting my extra money towards a mortgage, or if I should start saving that too in case.
Hey, this is exactly why we tell people not to buy individual stocks.
Right.
It's exactly why.
I know, and at this point, I've done it, and they're sitting there.
I get that it's water under the bridge, but the first part of this we have to address is never do this again. It's not cool. You did not beat the system. It kicked your butt up around your neck. That's why you're calling. Okay? You violated a principle here of diversification, and you started screwing around thinking you were too smart doing single stocks, and you got your butt kicked. Now, first we got to own that. Okay? I'm not picking on you. I just don't want you to ever go back here again. Now, if you agree with that, and you say I'm never going back, you don't have to agree with me. This is for your purposes. You got to decide this. You don't have to. I don't need your agreement. You can decide. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay. I want to help you from this point forward. Now that you're in the mess. Now, if you say, okay, I made a mistake because I took too much risk playing with these single stocks and I got my butt kicked, and I'm never doing that again. Now, what do I do? Well, you get rid of them tomorrow. Because every day you keep them, it's like you bought them again. Meaning you think you're still thinking you can hang on and win. They're going to be okay over time. They're going to be okay over time. The stock market is going to be okay over time, not your little portfolio. Your little portfolio may still get its butt kicked as the stock market recovers. I don't know. Because you've got a handful of stocks, and, you're just... There's all kinds of studies that go the individual person playing single stocks there's like 90% of the time does not even keep up with what the stock market does. You always come in below the market. And it's not because you're dumb, it's because you're not diversified enough, number one, and number two, that lack of safety then catches you here because one or two little, you got 6 stocks, 2 of them go down, it can tank the returns on the whole portfolio. When you got 200 stocks and 5 of them go down or 6 of them go down, it doesn't tank the portfolio stock. So what would I do if I woke up in your shoes? I would cash out the I bonds, dumb investment. I would cash out the stocks, dumb investment immediately. I'd put it in a pile and I'd start thinking about buying a car.
Okay. And
stop doing this stuff. That's what I would do. But you knew I wouldn't do it when you called here. You already knew that it was stuff we don't tell you to do. What would I do if I woke up in Bitcoin? And Bitcoin is now what? It's off 60-something% now from last September. So if you had $100,000 in there, you've lost $60,000 in Bitcoin. And you Bitcoin people have been ragging me, threatening to burn my house down because I said you were idiots. and look how smart you are now. Okay? And it wasn't because I hate Bitcoin. It's because I hate stuff that is unproven because it kicks your butt. And now, what would I do if I owned Bitcoin? If I had put $100,000 in Bitcoin, and I was, what should you do? You should get out tomorrow because it may get better, it may get worse, but it's still the same stupid investment that it was last fall. It's just now you're in a situation where Warren Buffett said, when the tide goes out, you can tell who is skinny dipping. When your stupid is stress tested, it comes up stupid. And I'm not fussing at you, dude. I'm just fussing at all of us because I did the exact same stupid stuff when I was in my 20s. And I put like $5,000 in this gold thing, this gold futures thing. This buddy of mine had a guy. He had a guy.
I got you a guy.
As soon as you got a guy, you know that you're about to lose your butt. As soon as somebody says, I got a guy, that he had hit gold. He had picked out the gold option mark, and if you hit it, you take $5,000 and make $50,000. Okay, and he had hit it 11 out of the last 11 periods.
Oh wow.
He was a genius.
Yeah.
Until the 12th one, when I put in $5,000. And this genius right here, so watch. And let me tell you what happens if you don't make the mark. If you hit the mark, the 5 becomes 50. If you don't make the mark, it becomes 0. 0.
You know, it'd be
That's how dumb I am.
No, okay, so hold on. I have two thoughts real quick. Kurt, so yes, cash it out tomorrow, buy the minivan. I would go with the Honda Odyssey. It's a great van from personal experience. But number 2, a funny segment, James, would be all the dumb investments I've done. Like we had a friend who will be unnamed about, this was probably when Winston and I kind of first got married. So it's been 12 years or so. So we had a friend and he was like hell-bent. Oh, can I say that?
Too late, you did.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hell-bent.
On the Denari losing value. And he's like, you got to get into the Denari market. You got to get into the Denari
Iraqi
market.
dinar.
Yeah. And it was like, and I don't know, he put a couple $100 in. And he was like, literally, this is going to be $3 million in a year when the Iraqi government collapsed. He had this whole like political string through it. And it was the
Bitcoin of the Iraq War.
Yeah. So, anyways, but it did.
The dinar, the Iraqi dinar.
Yeah, that was a big thing. But it'd be a funny segment for people to call in and say, "Hey, here was."
We need to do a stupid tax hour again.
There you go.
Stupid butt stuff I have done that has cost me money. That's stupid tax. And I'll lead off. I'll tell you all the stupid stuff I've done because I've done a bunch of it. That's why I'm so passionate about this because it hurts too much to work this hard for the money and then it evaporates because I'm stupid. I hate it when I'm stupid because it costs money. I don't like it. This is the Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, and we invite you to join us. Some of you are traveling. If you stop through Nashville, we're in Franklin, just south of Nashville, the Ramsey Solutions headquarters. We got a big visitor center, free coffee, free homemade chocolate chip cookies, and we have a debt-free stage where people come to do their debt-free screams, and Brian and Shannon join us on that stage. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to have you guys. Where do y'all live?
Elk Mills, Maryland.
Okay, which is near Baltimore, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Good to have y'all. How much debt have you paid off?
$524,000.
Woohoo!
Wow.
How long did that take?
About 5 years.
Good for you guys. Way to go. Your range of income during that time?
160, and then we ended at 195.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
And I work in construction.
Okay. Wow. Good for you guys. Great incomes. Well done. 5 years, $520,000. I'm going to guess, is that the mortgage?
We paid off our house.
Yeah.
Looking at a couple of weird people.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. How old are you two?
I'm 41.
I'm 40.
All right. And you got a paid-for house.
Paid-for house.
What's this thing worth?
Well, the one we paid off was we sold one for about $300, and then the other one we used that proceeds to pay off the other.
Right, the one you're living in.
The one we're living in.
And what's it worth?
That's about $200 right now.
Good for you! Wow,
that's awesome.
Fun.
Amazing.
Excellent job, guys. How long y'all been married?
15 years.
About that, yeah.
So what happened 5 years ago that made you decide, hey, we're going to pay off our house?
Well, about 6 years ago, Brian started getting sick. he had what is called a cholesteatoma, and it started growing on the inside of his ears, kind of like a tumor growing bigger and bigger and bigger. We didn't know about it. And he went to the doctor because he started getting dizzy and falling off ladders, stuff like that at construction sites.
Not good.
Not good. At that time, we weren't living paycheck to paycheck, but we were. So when he started getting sick, he needed surgeries. Well, without that income, things got real bad real quick. So I went to work one night and was working patrol, and I was talking to my good buddy Justin Beamer. And when I say talking, I was sobbing because on one hand, I'm scared out of my mind. And on the other, I'm angry at him for getting sick. You want to talk about feeling pretty humble and bad about yourself. Yeah. Be angry at your spouse for getting sick. Yeah. So I ate a lot of humble pie, and then we learned about your show and what you do, and he lent us the book, The Total Money Makeover, which I read within, 2 days. And then I went to him, and I said, we're going to do this. And he's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. And then what?
And then we took the next 5 years, ate a lot of humble pie, made a lot more mistakes.
Tons of them.
And so the house, we had 2 houses. We have 4 beautiful children. And we said, well, we need a bigger house. They can't possibly share rooms. That would be child abuse. So we went and bought a really big house. But the way we did that was we took a 401k loan. Which is the smartest thing ever, right?
It was a great idea.
Yeah. So they don't tell you when you take out that loan that the IRS is going to hunt you down for more money.
Right.
So we got a $40,000 IRS check. Well, not check, I wish.
Yeah, right.
Payment. And that knocked us off our feet. So we have the 2 houses. The one we didn't sell because we bought it during the bubble. And so we kept that as a rental. And we rented it to people that Brian grew up with. And we weren't the best of landlords because we were just like, okay, go live there. We're not going to worry about it. You do whatever you need to do. Which meant they got 20 cats.
Lots of cats.
Oh, no.
How'd you not just have to burn that house down?
Oh, my gracious.
I took about 5 months gutting the whole thing when we moved into it.
What's crazy about, and I just got to speak on the Lord real quick here. So they move out. Well, we were going to evict them, but they just decided to move out, and we go in, and it's just the worst.
Oh, it smells so
Oh,
bad.
my gosh. And Brian used our entire emergency fund, about $30,000, to repair the house. So you want to talk about feeling scared again, right? I'm feeling scared.
Here we go again.
Yeah, we're going to sell the other house, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Well, the Lord was so good to us that not only when we sold the house did we make enough to pay off the mortgage, but he gave us a $30,000 back to put in our emergency fund.
Oh, wow.
So he's just been so good to us along the way.
And Brian, your medical stuff cleared?
Yeah, it's ongoing, but it's sustainable now. So it's just I go every couple years to get a cleanup kind of thing, and it's nothing like it was before.
Okay. And so that allows you to get back to work then, obviously, all these years,
Well, yeah, but I'm not scared anymore now.
Yeah. Or mad at him about it,
Or I'm not mad. He can go ahead and heal. He's good.
I use it as a vacation.
This is my little time off,
Oh, man. Okay, so when Shannon is like, no, okay, I'm reading this book, I'm doing it. She made the comment, and Brian was like, okay. Okay, so how was the journey for you, Brian? If she's all pumped up and ready to go.
I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I just bought a big truck. We wanted to pull a fancy camper that we bought. So I had this nice truck, and she's like, I think we got to sell it.
Well, I had to bring it up like it was his idea. Oh, don't you think we should do this? And yeah, he let us sell it.
Yes. So you guys together, though, in 5 years, how is marriage different, would you say?
We used to call it the Friday night fights. She would come up, And like, oh, you got to spend your money this way, that way. And I'm like, well, you can tell me how I'm going to spend my money. I'm going to spend it how I want.
I don't care if you're a cop or not. You ain't going to tell me this, huh?
Yeah. So we just started, kind of doing everything the right way. And that's where it started. Once you started getting them principles in line, I was able to get in line on that.
Sure. And you guys working more as a team than ever before. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think it really helped the marriage out a lot.
Yes.
Whoa. A lot.
For me.
No, but we now teach Financial Peace University at our church, at Nottingham Missionary Baptist Church.
Wow.
And it's incredible to see where we came from. And I mean, we still make mistakes. Like that's I thought I'd be a millionaire by now, Dave. Like, where's the money, right? But we still
You're on your
way. God willing. But it's cool to share those mistakes with others, because we've been teaching FPU for 2-3 years now, and no one has made as many mistakes as we have. So that's kind of cool, where we can just share that.
Yeah, you are infinitely qualified.
Yes.
to lead FPU. Yeah, you make great coordinators. Coordinators that are perfect are lousy coordinators.
Well, we're the lousiest.
Yeah, no, you're the imperfect. You're the perfect coordinator. So yeah, that's great. Way to go, you guys. So, yeah, you're well on your way. You got a paid-for house that's worth a couple of $100,000. You're making a couple of $100 a year. You got no bills in the world. What's the first big thing you're going to do to celebrate now?
We're here.
Yeah, we're doing this.
This is
a
it.
celebration.
Okay.
We have been counting down the days to come do this, stand on your stage, and thank you personally for what you have done for our family. It's just been incredible. Thank you so much, because this is not easy. You're going against the culture. You're telling people what they should be doing, and nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear good sound advice or what we should be doing.
But you've been on patrol. You know the culture is something that needs to be gone against.
Oh my gracious.
Yeah.
We're fighting a battle out there.
It's wild.
Yes.
And so common sense has got to be prevailing. And you guys are just perfect. I love you. You're heroes.
Well, thank you.
Well done. I'm so proud of you. Very, very cool stuff.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Very cool. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure. Copy of Total Money Makeover. You'll give that away to one of your FPU attendees probably.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
And we'll give you an FPU membership. You can give that away to somebody that you got somebody somewhere that you're talking to on patrol that's crying about something like you were, and you'll be able to help them.
Well, that's the best part, Dave, is like I see a lot of people in really bad spots, and being able to help them, and showing them a little bit of God.
Yeah. All right, let's bring the kiddos up.
Come on.
And get them into the deal. Allison, Brielle, Camille, and Joseph, all from the Baltimore, Maryland area, with Brian and Shannon, $524,000 paid off in 5 years. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
They are fun. Way to go, you guys. They're neat. I mean, that makes you just glad that lady's out there on patrol, you know? Glad he's in the construction business. What great moms and dads, husbands and wives. Good stuff. This is The Ramsey Show. Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Laura is with us in Alaska. Hi, Laura. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave and Rachel. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
My question today is how to best support my husband through a career change. He was a framer in college, mostly working for his father's residential contractor business, but he's been in banking for the past 7 years, and he's trying to change his careers to go back to being like a project manager or a residential contractor. And so far in the last 3-4 months, we've put about $2,000 into classes and exams, and his next exam to try is next week. He doesn't want a huge pay cut. Right now he's making between $80,000 and $100,000 a year with bonuses. So he doesn't want to start over with his career now that he's been doing this a while. And it's just kind of it's just kind of led to a lot of angst, I guess. But I guess my question is like how to best support him through that, through all of this big change that's happening.
Because will his income go down with the new job?
So, like, it's starting a whole new business as a residential contractor. First, he needs a license, and then he needs clients, and it's hard to get a loan without experience. Like, he's looked into getting a loan for like a contract loan for building a house for someone, but so he wants to get credit cards and get more credit and be able to build a house. He sold his fancy truck and bought a cheaper truck, and so we have $40,000 saved for a plot of land. But I guess it's just kind of an unclear direction of how to start a business, and he knows how to do all that. It's just it's going to be hard because he to quit his job that makes $80,000 to start a business that potentially might not make anything for a year or two, and I guess it's just kind of an unclear path, and we're both kind of struggling.
Well, and part of the problem is it is a clear path. It's just a bad one, and that's part of what's bothering him and you, because what you're describing to me is ultra high risk. You're setting yourself up for bankruptcy. So no, you don't need to do what you're doing. I would recommend not doing his path. Hold on.
Sorry.
I do want him to go be a residential contractor. And I do want him to make this change. I do not want him building a house for someone else with money he borrowed. Lots of contractors do cost plus or even a profit margin agreement, whichever it is, and they're very similar. And so if I got ready to build a house, I could put up the money and hire a contractor, and they use my money to build my house, and he makes a profit. That is a normal arrangement in custom home building. You don't need to go into debt to build a house for somebody else. They should have the money. And if they don't have the money, they can go get a construction loan. And if your husband has a contractor's license in the state of Arkansas, the bank will loan them the money against a set of plans and appraisal, and you're able to draw on the construction loan as percentages of completion on the house are done. In no case is your husband or you on the debt. The individual building that's going to end up owning the house goes and gets the construction loan, and then the draw comes out, and when the draw comes out, it's to pay the lumber bill and to pay the contractor a percentage of his profit because we reached the 50% mark or the 25% mark or whatever. And it's laid out in a normal construction draw program. It's typically done, for instance, after the foundation is in, is one draw. After the framing package is up, is another draw. Those are typical, I've been around this business my whole life and been in it my whole life. So, but there's no reason for you to have to go borrow money to buy a plot of land to build something on. That is not a good way to do this. And in the meantime, I would start doing a bunch of renovations and build decks and build other things on the side as a side hustle and get my volume up and get my customer base up before I quit. Because in order to build a custom home, he's going to have to be full-time.
Yes, definitely. I've sent him jobs like carpenter jobs and other things, but he really doesn't want to take a pay cut in between.
I want him to do that as a side hustle.
As
no
just
pay cut.
A weekend evening.
Yeah, no pay cut. Put some guys on the job building the deck. Go by and see them before work and after work, and check them on the weekends. And sub out the work with his contractor's license. Do some renovations, same way, but he does not have to be on the job all day long on these small projects. And there's no pay cut involved because he's still got his banker job until he gets his income up and gets enough, and he gets 2 or 3 custom houses lined up, and okay, we're getting ready to break ground this month on one, next month on another, next month on another, and you've got those under contract, meaning the people building the house have signed a contract with you to be their contractor. Now you've got business that you can quit based on.
Okay.
But you don't have to go into debt to do this, and you don't have to quit cold turkey to go do this.
Okay. cool. I will let him know.
Okay. And I can be very supportive of all that because I think he could actually make about double what he's making now with this move. I think he's going to make more and do stuff he loves. And he kind of cut his teeth on the business. He grew up in the business. But guys who go out and just start spec building as we're heading into a recession are the ones that get their butts kicked.
Yeah. Yeah. And you feel that angst, Laura, like even when you were asking the question.
I could hear it in your voice.
Like,
you weren't sure what to be nervous about, but you just knew it wasn't right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love him. I want him to win. I don't want to kill his dream, but I'm feeling like a nightmare.
And would he receive this? Like if you kind of walked through this call of just different ideas versus I'm going to quit tomorrow and go into debt to build a house and all that. Like what's his level of comfortable? Is he comfortable in his plan?
I don't fully think he is. This sounds bad, but Dave Ramsey has been a bit of a curse word in our 10-month marriage, and like I got myself out of debt. We paid for the wedding with cash, and but we both, we're not on a strict budget, but we have shared bank account. It's just kind of it's just been, I don't know, a little tense with all of this change, and underneath all of it is just kind of that he's just really unhappy with his current career choice, and it's brought a lot of frustration.
I'm completely in agreement with him. I would much rather build houses than be a banker.
Amen.
It just sounds like a whole lot more fun to me. So I'm totally supportive of his dream. But here's the thing: you can always do a dream with improper steps and turn it into a nightmare, and that's what I don't want for him or for you.
And Laura, too, I would kind of push into this because you guys have been married 10 months. It kind of feels like a little bit of shaky foundation of like we're on the same page, but we're not here, and it's this, and I'm kind of tiptoeing around different stuff. I mean, you guys kind of just need to have over dinner this weekend, just say, hey, I just need to say out loud the things that I'm thinking and feeling, and I want you to hear them. And it takes courage to do that, but for him to hear that, and you guys start these kind of conversations, because tiptoeing around the issues is starting out a terrible habit for marriage.
Are y'all
right?
Are y'all like 26?
We're 30 and 31.
Okay, yeah. Because here's what I'm old. So when someone says to me, "How can I be supportive of my husband?" and then they lay out all of the things that he's doing that don't feel right, that's code for I think this is a really stupid idea. How can I really tell him that and still love him? And still want him to go be somebody.
Piss him off.
It's code for, you don't really want to be supportive of him doing cocaine. How can I be supportive of my husband while he does a little cocaine? No, you can't. You can't do that. You're not supportive of that. And it's sweet, but it's just wrong. No, my wife does not support me in things that she thinks is crazy.
But you can be respectful in the conversation.
Absolutely.
But being honest where you are, Laura, to him,
Absolutely.
I think is one of the biggest gifts you can give him.
But you're under no obligation to support things that violate your beliefs and your common sense. Don't support those because you're going down with the ship. You're on the ship. Both of you are on it together. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. This is The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they really love, and create actual amazing relationships. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. My co-host today is Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and my daughter. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Charles is in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hey, Charles, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Mr. Ramsey and Mrs. Cruz, it's truly an honor to speak with you.
You too, sir. What's up?
Okay, I want to be weird people without paying any stupid tax. So my question is, I make about $150,000 a year combined income with my wife. We have $65,000 left to pay on the mortgage. That's our only debt. I started a new job about 6 months ago, and July 1st is when I can start investing. So in the meantime, I've been tripling and quadrupling my payments, my mortgage payments. So my question is, should I stop that and keep and invest and then spend for whatever, or should I start investing? Also, we have $40,000 in savings, and it's an emergency fund. And when my mortgage gets down to $40,000, should I just pay it off? I know my expenses will go down without having a mortgage. I don't know what to do right about there.
Yeah, it's all great questions, Charles. So currently, I would say when you can start investing into your company's 401k, then I would back down the mortgage payments and pay up to 15% of your income. And I would be putting that into retirement. And then anything else that you have, throw it at the house. But when you guys get down to that $40,000, I would not empty your emergency fund. You can maybe a little bit if you don't need that all $40,000 for 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. You could use some of that to pay off the mortgage faster if you don't need all 40. But I would be investing that 15%, which would mean probably backing down your mortgage payment.
Yeah, 15%. We teach people to do baby steps 4, 5, and 6 simultaneously. 4 is 15% of your income into retirement. 5 is kids' college, doing something on the kids' college if you have kids, it's appropriate. Beyond that, everything you can find, you throw at the mortgage. So yes, it is going to reduce the amount that you're able to put on the mortgage, but you're still making a plenty of money to get this mortgage knocked out, and you got a tiny little mortgage, so you're going to knock it out. You're going to be just fine. But no, I would, and I'm with Rachel, I would not clean out the emergency fund. But if you wanted to say, hey, I don't need $40,000 when the house is paid off, I need $25,000. So I'm going to take 15 of it and throw it at the mortgage right now. That gets it down to 50, and we're just going to attack this thing with a vengeance beyond. But I would start my 15% of my income into retirement. You're going to get whatever match you get, put it into Roth 401k, into good growth stock mutual funds. Stock market's down, so it's on sale. It's a great time to be investing. And while the market's down, it's just a wonderful time. And so, the bad thing about slow economic times is the stock market goes down. The great thing about slow economic times is the stock market goes down. And so it's a great time to invest. And I wouldn't miss out on that. I would be doing that. But only 15%, not 20%, not 26%, 15%, no more. Everything else goes on the house. Good questions, Charles. Henry's with us. Henry is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hi, Henry. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Hi, Dave. Hi, Rachel. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I appreciate all you do. I am 56 years old, and I recently, last week, sold an investment property that I had, and it sold for $497,000 with all the closing costs and credits and whatnot. Basically, I had $450,000 left over. With that, I paid off a home equity line of credit that I have on the home where I actually live. And I put $35,000 towards the mortgage. And that leaves a balance on the mortgage of $65,000. That's my only debt. I have an emergency fund for 3 months, and I have about $80,000 in retirement accounts.
You did not hold back the money for the capital gains tax?
I have $350,000. My thought was to put at least $50,000 on the side for the capital gains, and then any, depreciation or whatever.
Oh, I thought you put it all on the mortgage. Already?
No, I put $35,000, which brought my mortgage to $5,000.
Okay, and you still got, but after you did all those things, you got $350,000 you're sitting on.
I have $350,000, and I have a $65,000 outstanding mortgage.
Yeah.
So
write a check and pay off your mortgage today.
Gotcha.
Good job, man. You're going to have some capital gains, though. Do you know what your adjusted basis was on the property?
I don't. I'm actually meeting with my accountant to discuss that, so I'm not sure.
Have him calculate your capital gains now, because it's 15% of your gain, and you've owned this property for how long? You had it as a rental?
Yeah, I've had it for 10 years, so I don't fall within an exception. I haven't lived there in
No, I'm not worried about that. I was just trying to figure out how much you depreciated it, because you've depreciated it every year. And as you've written it off, all of this is not going to be gain, but a lot of it is. So you probably, I'm going to give you a guess. Let's say you got a $300,000 gain. Probably that much at least. Okay.
I have a $320 gain, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah. If you got I'm talking about the gain, your sale price minus your expenses, minus your adjusted basis, which is your original basis minus the depreciation that you took, okay? So you've got the adjusted basis. That's how you calculate the gain. Now, I'm going to guess, based on the fact you've held it 10 years and you've depreciated it, that you probably got a $300,000 gain or so, which is going to be about a $45,000 tax bill at 15%.
Gotcha.
So, but let him calculate it exactly. And if he says it's $62,426, and says $65,000 aside, then pay out. You pay off your mortgage anyway. You're not going to have so much gain you can't pay off the mortgage. So go ahead and pay off the mortgage, but set your capital gains aside, and then beyond that, now you've got all this money free and clear. You got no other debt, right?
No other debt. I do have 2 children though, and I have about $58,000 in a 529. So $29,000 each. But I think my older son, who's 16, will not be going to college. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got that money free just to invest and to do some generosity with it. And if it's in an investment in your name and you need it for a kid, you can always get to it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, then I would sit down with the SmartVestor Pro after you've set your money aside for capital gains and start thinking about how you're going to invest the balance. Because it sounds like you're going to have a couple $100,000 left after capital gains and mortgage is paid still to do something with. You may want to upgrade a car. You may want to take your wife on a trip. She probably deserves it, or whatever it is you want to do that's something sweet and fun and nice. And you probably want to do some of those kinds of things, and then sit down with your SmartVestor Pro to do some investing. If you don't have someone in your corner, click SmartVestor at Ramsey Solutions. We'll hook you up with the people we recommend. We're not in that business, but these are people that do the things that we teach, and they'll help you to execute these ideas, these strategies. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. A lot of you are thinking about moving right now. That's awesome. Moving is exciting. And there's a lot of real things to talk about when you talk about moving. If you're moving across the country, across town, you're going to be facing some sky-high home prices. Interest rates are up. And the challenge of finding experienced pros that you can trust. When it comes to something as important as buying a home, you don't use your friend's cousin who just got their license, or your Uncle Charlie, or Henrietta down at the church that just got her license. You get a simple Google search. You just randomly drop in on a real estate agent. That's not a good way to pick out somebody to sell your largest asset or help you purchase your largest asset. You should be able to find high caliber pros that you can rely on, whether you're moving from Florida to Alaska, no matter where you're moving. And we have vetted thousands of real estate agents around the country, and we've got the high-octane, high-protein people who sell a lot of houses that can help you. They're Ramsey trusted agents. They are our endorsed local providers, and they've earned our seal of approval. They prioritize you over just getting a commission check. They want you to have a incredible home buying, home selling experience. Go to RamseySolutions.com/agent. Find the best agents across the country. That's RamseySolutions.com/agent. You know, Rachel, you and I were talking about real estate a little bit the other day on the air when you were on here last. And I keep digging into what's happening with the market. There's a little bit of a weird thing happening with the bad economic news out on inflation and gas prices, and now interest rates continuing to climb. And now pretty much the announcement that we probably are heading into the second quarter of an economic shrinkage called a recession. When the total goods and services, the gross domestic product, shrinks 2 quarters in a row, that's called a recession. And so when it's put on the news, it's called a recession! You're going to die! But that's not really what it is. It's just, it's a recession. It just means it receded. That's all it means. Yeah. It's nothing to panic over. But you add with that, summertime came, and a lot of people, and I'm talking to some of you out there right now, you take a vacation on adulthood during the summer. Like, you can go do anything you want to do stupid, and you'll deal with it in the fall, and I'm not going to worry about buying a house or selling a house, and I'm just going to go on vacation, and I'm going to spend money I don't have, and I'm not going to deal with this stuff. It's summer. I'm putting my life in neutral, and I'm going to let it get a little bit worse before I deal with it. And there's a little of that. It's kind of I guess it's built into us as little kids. We go to school and we get off for the summer. And now people, when we're adults, we think we can get off for the summer. Yeah. And we don't have to, and so church attendance goes down, generosity goes down, gym membership, attending the gym to work out goes down. It's not just because it's pretty outside. It's because you're freaking laying around. Okay, so...
or you're home with the kids.
Yeah, well, or whatever.
And they're not at school and you don't have your own routine. There's
this mental thing that just goes...
Yeah, there's a checkout. I get that.
So that's adding to this real estate market stuff. Because people aren't jumping up and down to go buy... Hey, because they're all frantic about buying a house, and then all of a sudden they go on vacation mentally and emotionally.
Yes.
And so here's the thing I want to tell you guys right now. This is an unusual market because we're kind of at this midpoint. There's like a tipping point thing going on. It's like it's getting ready to go and flip. It's not going to flip quick, but we're at this moment in time, and I would say for the next 6 months, this is going to be true. And you can't usually say this, is what I'm saying.
Can't wait.
Right now is the best time to buy a house in the next 5 years. Right now. And here's why. Okay? Prices are not going to go down. Some of you are saying, well, I'm going to wait for prices to come down. You're not going to get them.
Yeah.
They're not coming down.
Yeah.
Okay? They're going to go up slower, but they're not going to go down. They may not go up hardly at all, but they're not going to go down. And so 5 years from today, houses are going to be more expensive. This is as cheap as it's going to be in the next 5 years. So this is the best price right now if you're going to buy a house. Well, interest rates are up. Buy the house. If interest rates come back down, refinance.
Yeah.
But don't not buy waiting on interest rates to come down. Just refinance the mortgage if interest rates come down. This is the best time to buy a house in the next 5 years. And here's what's weird. This is also the best time to sell a house in the next 5 years. Why? Because we still have semblance of the crazy white hot market around. And it's really just vibrating. It's still really, like if you're a seller, you really have a real hot commodity right now. You got a nice house, you put it on the market, it'll go. And it'll go for a really good price right now. And it may not be that way 6 months from now. The market may slow down enough that as a seller, you may have to sit on a house for a while to get a good price out of it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think you're going to lose money 5 years from now. But if you got I was talking with a friend of mine last night that had a really big expensive property that he sold, a farm. He sold it, and he said because this was the best time in the next 5 years to get rid of that farm. He goes, I didn't have to sell it, didn't need to sell it, but it was timing the market that this is a great, it's an unusual statement when you can say this is the best time to sell in the next 5 years and this is the best time to buy in the next 5 years. I know, because
it's so expensive still.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, but it's not going to get cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not going to get cheaper.
Yes.
It's not. You can't wait on it to get cheaper because it's not going to. I really do believe that.
And what causes real estate to go down? Is this a stupid question? But I'm saying it out loud.
When supply exceeds demand.
To go, yes, but in the history of real estate,
there's only one time in the last 100 years that it went down.
Okay, ever.
Period.
So year after year.
It wasn't interest rates.
Always. It's gone up, except for the recession.
In 1982, when the interest rates went to 19%, 18% fixed, the prices did not go down. Now, the sales came to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
People quit buying because they couldn't afford to pay payments on a 15% mortgage. But, I was selling real estate at the time. I was in my early 20s selling real estate, trying to make a living doing it. I was in college selling real estate. I sold some houses in a 15, 16, 17% fixed rate market. But some of them were for cash. People had money. It was a good time to buy at that time. So
it's not a bubble. Well, we all just went through the last year of real estate or however long that it's just been insane. It's not going to pop and everything's going to go down. Because I've heard people say
it's not a bubble.
That in pockets of America, because of the rush, to states with no income tax, of Florida, Tennessee, right? Those are.
But what that's done is it artificially drove the price up faster. So we saw in 2020 prices go up 32% nationwide on real estate. I mean, my God.
Insane. Yeah.
Okay. And this year we're predicting 7%. All right. So we're going to see, and that's a pretty good rate. 7% is not a bad going up. Your house goes up 7% a year while you own it for 30 years, you're going to be rich off your house. Okay. Yeah. So it's not a bad thing. But what the bubble that is there is not on the actual price itself. The bubble is on the rate of increase. That 32% is not, that bubble's going to burst. It already has.
Yeah. It's already
just not gone all the way down yet. And so what's going to happen is the rate of increase is different than the price. How fast they're going up, that is a bubble. That bubble is going to burst. But they're not going to, because all the data we have shows that there is this extreme shortage of housing. And new housing starts are not coming up fast enough to offset it.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have an oversupply.
I just wonder, though, like the houses, like I just think about even in our neighborhood, for what they're going, like a new build, what it's going for, it's insane. But you think they can still get that price?
It's just emotional.
They will still get that price, though.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. The house that sold for $2 million 2 months ago, 5 years from now, will sell for more than $2 million.
Yeah, but I'm saying, will they get a price like that
a year from now, it won't be 1.8. It'll be 2.1.
Yeah.
It's not going to go down, but it may not be as easy to sell it, all that. This is the Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, my co-host today. Jared is with us. Jared's in Midland, Michigan. Hi, Jared. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So me and my fiance are getting married here soon in July. And she just graduated college with a nursing degree. And I've got a house that I bought before we met. I also have a new truck, and she has a new car. So together we have about $330,000 in debt. And we both just started jobs where we're making decent money. We gross about $90,000 a year. And I guess we were just kind of wondering, coming up on our wedding and hopefully having kids here shortly in the next year or two, how we can kind of prepare for a solid foundation financially.
Yeah, well, congratulations on the engagement and the wedding coming up. So, out of the $330 of debt, what's in the cars and what's in the student loans?
So my house I owe about $100,000 on. Her student loans are about $170. My truck's $33. Her car's $12. So.
Okay.
Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah.
How old are you guys?
I'm 25. She's 26.
Okay. So when you add that up, does it kind of scare the crud out of you?
Oh, absolutely.
What about her?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Probably her more than me.
Good. Okay. Because I don't want you to be debilitated by fear, but I want you to be afraid enough to do something about it. So that's good.
Sure.
Okay.
Is she in the nursing position you think she's going to be in long term, or is this just like a stepping stone because of her degree?
I think she'll stay there.
So what's she
making?
making?
She enjoys the work that she does.
What's she making?
She makes about $59,000 a year.
And you make 30?
Net. She makes like 59. Take home probably like 41-ish. And I make take home like 40.
Okay, so I thought you said 90 gross.
Well, close to 100.
Yeah, she makes like 41. I make like 48.
Gross?
So 90 net.
90.
No,
you meant 90.
That's what your take home pay.
Take home. Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
90 net, not 90 gross. So you're making about 130, 110. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, good. So good. And what do you do, Jared?
I'm a millwright.
Okay, good. Good. All right. Well, the good news is in both of your cases, you probably can pick up some extra hours that are very, very profitable hours. OT in both of these things pays very well. We don't want to do that long term, and we don't want to do it too much in your first year of marriage, but we want to do it strategically to be able to get rid of these debts. I'm not worried about the house. The student loan is a serious mountain. The truck's probably under the heading of sold.
Okay.
Because you guys got to clean this mess up. The faster you're out of debt, everything but the house, the faster you're going to have amazing peace in this household. Because you're going to be making over $100,000 a year with no payments but a $100,000 house payment. Yet that's a really good place to be in at 25 years old. Or it's not going to be 25; it's going to be 27. It's going to take you 2 years to clean this up, or more. But the 170 is a big number. And so what I always look at mathematically that gives me great hope is the size of the shovel you have, your income, household income, versus the size of the hole you're in. And so you're in a really big hole, but you got a good shovel. And so I'm not panicking looking at the math, okay? But I do know you guys got 2 to 3 years of beans and rice, no life ahead of you to clean this mess up. And I personally wouldn't try to ride a $33,000 truck through that. I'd ride an $8,000 truck through that.
Okay.
How much do you think you can sell it for, Jared? Do you know?
Probably 40, 42.
Yeah, and they give you enough to buy another car for cash and get rid of a truck payment that's $700 a month, right?
That would be huge. That would be huge.
Sure.
Yeah, that moves the needle, and then you list your debts smallest to largest. That would just leave her car and the student loans, and we begin to attack them, get her car knocked out, and then we begin to attack these student loans with a vengeance.
And don't go into debt for the wedding, Jared. Don't continue to dig in that hole.
No, our parents are
awesome.
Pretty much cash flow on the wedding.
Great.
So
That's great.
We're very grateful for that.
That's awesome.
So she has an option to consolidate her student loans, which would drop her. It'd go from a 30-year to a 15-year, but it would take it from like a $2,000 monthly payment to a $1,500 monthly payment.
Doesn't matter.
Do you think that's wise?
Doesn't matter. What I'm concerned about here is the interest rate. What's it do to the interest rate?
9% or 10% to 4%.
10% to 4%.
Yeah, the lower interest rate is excellent. 15 years doesn't matter because you're going to pay them off in 3 years. You're going to be 100% debt free in 3 years.
Okay. Well, so the other thing I was thinking, if she makes her minimum payment on her student loans for 10 years, her work will pay it off. Is it
We're
worth
not doing
riding that out and having?
Absolutely not. Nope.
Okay.
No, her work won't pay it off. You're talking about the federal government paying it off, and they have not been doing that. There's a 97% turn down rate on that plan. It is a failure.
Okay.
So no, we don't let somebody else clean up your deal. You guys got to go clean this mess up. And here's the thing: a little bit of OT on both of you. We can kick this thing without you completely giving up your newlywed year. Okay, but you can kick your income up another $50,000 pretty easy. And that's where I'm getting these numbers, okay? And so between the two of you, and just strategically pick some ER work on the weekends for her or something like that. You pick up some straight old OT. I'm sure it's available to you right now because everything's gearing back up. No pun intended in your case. But you guys are you got great careers because you got a lot of opportunity here to clean the mess up. And so, but here's the thing. There's a direct correlation by how intensely you attack this and how fast you get out, number one, and if you get out at all, number two. The probability of completing it is tied to your intensity, and the speed at which you complete it, being debt-free, it is tied to your intensity. So I want you guys to sit down and have a very detailed plan and attack this. We're going to help you. We're going to give you Financial Peace University as a wedding gift, okay? Free.
Oh, thank you.
And that's
awesome.
Yeah, the two of you go through that, and that's good pre-marriage counseling. It's going to teach you to work together as a team to accomplish a goal. It's going to be great for your relationship anyway, but it's also going to normalize this process because what you're getting ready to do, none of your friends are going to be doing. They're going to think you joined a cult.
Sure.
I mean, you sold your truck. Have you lost your mind? You know, that kind of stuff.
And let me tell you, Jared, you guys together, like, just to speak even more on that sacrifice, like, this is the time to do it. As newlyweds, before kids, like, if you have the bandwidth to do it, do it. Do it now, because you're going to fast forward in 4 years and you're going to have a baby on the way. You guys are going to have no payments, and the level of peace that you will have so much more doing it now versus waiting it out. Because I mean, we talk to so many people that are getting out debt and they have kids and they're doing it, and it's absolutely can be done. But God, they look back like, why didn't we start this sooner? So the sooner you guys can do this, the more intense you can do it, and shake hands and say, okay, we're in it. We are in it, and we're going to complain together. We're going to be in it together. We're going to celebrate together.
We're going to be tired.
We're going to be tired together, but like, this is our journey. And two, what it will do for your marriage, you guys working on the same team with a huge goal like this, and to accomplish that your first couple years of marriage it will do so much for you guys. I mean, it will unite you guys in a whole other way versus if you kind of just were like, we're okay with it, it's fine, and just go through life.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of pros here that you guys have.
You said you're 25, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you're 30, here's what it's going to look like if you do this. You're going to be making, without overtime, $150,000 to $170,000 a year. You're going to have no payments except a little bit of a house payment left. And you may even have it paid off, and you're going to have $40,000 or $50,000 in the bank, and you're going to have learned to work together.
You're going to go on great vacations.
You're going to be on your way.
You're going to be driving that truck again, Jared.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be on your way to being a millionaire in no time. That's what 5 years from now looks like. But you got some hills to climb between now and then. Hold on. We'll have Austin pick up, get you guys signed up for our gift of Financial Peace University. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 4:26. Watch the path of your feet, and all your ways will be established. Dolly Parton said, if you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. Love it. Way to go, Miss Dolly. Liz is with us. Liz is in Palm Springs. Hi, Liz. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I'm graduating college with my bachelor's in psych. I'm 23, and I'm graduating this Saturday, and I'm kind of wondering if you what you think I should do in terms of I don't like my home situation. I really, really want to move out, but I'm $13,000 in debt. So I'm not sure if I should tackle my debt first before moving out, or if I should get an apartment first.
Liz, do you have a job lined up?
I'm looking for jobs. I have one that's lined up, but the pay is only $20 an hour.
Okay. How much would you be working?
I'd be working 40 hours a week.
40 hours.
I'd be working, yeah.
Well, I think it's just $13,000 in student loans.
Or it's $10,000 in student loans and $3,000 in credit card debt.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I still think to be able to be out on your own, for sure is a possibility. I mean, I would be looking at your job. You need to look at your budget and figure out, okay, how much is going to be your take-home pay. You want to make sure you rent somewhere that's no more than 25% of your take-home pay. But I would not go buy a house. I would go rent an apartment. Mm-hmm. But I think it's totally feasible, yes, for you to get out. What's the situation? What makes you want to leave?
So we moved in with my brother. Stuff happened. We moved in with my brother, but the thing is that he's always bringing home girls. He's very kind of verbally abusive to me, and my mom is as well. So I really want to move out. But the problem is that if I were to find an apartment, it wouldn't be 25%. Just because like rent around here and even in cities around is like $1,500 for like one person. So I'm kind of just stuck. I don't want to get an apartment I can't afford, but then I don't want to work like two jobs. And I mean, if I have to, I will, but I just feel like I can't afford it.
You have to. Until you get a better job, you're going to be working 2 or 3 jobs.
Right, yeah.
You're broke.
Okay.
And $20 an hour doesn't cut it in Palm Springs.
No.
That's what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. So you may be moving to a different city, too. I mean, Palm Springs is not exactly Cheapville.
No.
This is like one of the most expensive areas in the United States.
Yeah.
It's not designed for people. It's not the economics there are not designed for people that make $20 an hour.
Right, yeah.
So here's the question. So there's a couple of variables here, all right? Location, the city you live in is a variable. Your income, what you make per hour, is a variable. You found one job at $20. Let's go find one at 40. Let's go find one for 40. Let's use your degree. Use your psych degree. Get into some marketing. Get into something, use that psych degree where it has value, where you understand human nature and you're plugging in. And the other variable is the amount of hours you work. And so it probably is that for the next 3 years, you're going to work a lot more than 40 hours. And there's a possibility you're doing that in a different city. And there's a strong possibility, you need to look for a better job because you haven't found the best one yet. You can make $20 an hour stocking shelves at freaking Target. So you haven't found the best job yet.
Okay.
Agreed?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So all of that combined sets you free from a toxic situation. Hours worked, better pay per hour, and a possible geography change to an area that's more affordable. The combination of those 3 variables, however you dial them in, puts you out in the wild, wild west, kiddo. You're out here in the big girl world now, but you're out of the toxic mess, the sewage that is your family.
Right, yeah.
And you need to be free from that, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's worth 80 hours a week work for 2 years to get free from it. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the tears are. You need some freedom. But it's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You needing this freedom does not mean a $1,500 apartment works on a $20 an hour, 40-hour week. It doesn't. That math doesn't work. You're trading for one kind of stress for a new kind of stress if you do that.
And the change is going to be hard, Liz. All of that, right? The work that's going to go in that you may not have wanted or thought about, and realizing that's your reality. Maybe working jobs that are not your favorites and moving to maybe a new city, the location piece of that. So these are all big changes, but they're possible, Liz, and you can do this.
Yeah,
you can do it.
You're getting ready to be the most courageous you have ever been in your life. You're getting ready to have a whole new level of courage right now that you have never had before.
Do you have good people in your life, Liz? Are you part of a good church, or do you have good mentors or friends?
Yeah, I have. I just recently I reconnected with my best friend, and she's been a really good support system for me.
Yeah, good. That's awesome. I would get some good people around you. I don't want you walking this alone, right? Because this can be a very lonely thing.
So here's the pain. If I was in your shoes, here's the pain I would choose. I would choose to take a sucky job that I hate that makes $50 an hour, as long as it's moral and it's legal. Okay? All right?
Yeah.
And because you're not going to do it long, it's your escape mechanism. You're going to escape from the little bit of debt and escape from that house and get out there and be able to pay your light bill and put food in the refrigerator. But you're going to hate what you're doing for a little while. And then your next step is to find something that makes $50 an hour that you love.
Okay.
But you're going to be making some courageous, high levels of change. The anxiety associated with change, you're getting ready to swallow a whole bunch of that. I mean,
how old are you, Liz?
We were at Universal the other day, and we got on this roller coaster, and it went straight up, click, 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 click. I mean, straight up. We were on our backs. Click, 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 and we know what's at the end of that, right? As soon as that thing gets to the top, we're getting ready to drop off a 15-story building. It was a blast. That's what you're doing right now. Yeah. Click, 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 click. You're getting ready to go off. Woohoo! Get ready, kiddo. Here it comes.
I hope so.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Because it's time. You need it. You need it. You need to do the brave, wild, crazy things that it takes to set you free, don't you?
Yeah.
But don't do this. Listen, you got a degree in psychology. Don't do this while in denial about the mathematics.
Okay.
Look at the math. The math is your reality. It's saying, I have to do something different, and I have to work a lot more, and I may have to live somewhere else.
What's the scariest part, Liz? What's still the, you're gasping? What's the scariest part for you?
Well, I'm just not sure if I should be paying off my debt first.
No.
I'm just worried.
No, you need to get out and get a job and get an apartment that you can afford.
Okay.
And then you're going to save up $1,000 emergency fund. That's going to be your next goal. And Austin will pick up. We're going to give you a year-long membership to Ramsey Plus, because that has every dollar, the premium budgeting app. I want you on a budget, Liz. And you know exactly, once you get your job, you know exactly where your money's going. And your goal is those 4 walls: your food, your shelter, utilities, transportation. And then your next savings goal is $1,000 emergency fund. And then after that, you can look at your debt. But you're going to clean this debt up. You don't have a ton right now. You're going to be okay. It's $13,000.
Your debt's not your problem.
Cut up your credit cards too, Liz. Cut up your credit cards.
You're braver than you think you are, kiddo.
You can do it.
You're going to do it. Woohoo! This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.